This is a TDW case history, in-service welding on a 36-inch natural gas transmission line. Here's a phone call a pipeline operator never wants to receive.
We've got some news for you. You know that property we own that your pipeline is on? Yeah, well, we're going to flood that land and you've got to move your line soon.
The pipeline owner has just learned he has to relocate miles of this 36-inch high-pressure gas transmission line buried below this coal field. The mining company intends to create a series of small ponds on their property to control coal dust. The pipeline owner was suddenly faced with three unexpected challenges. First, how to safely relocate miles of transmission line without interrupting the flow of natural gas or the revenue it generates each day. Second, where to find welders trained and experienced in the very specialized skills essential for in-service welding on high-pressure pipelines. Third, who can be the single source for the in-service welding, hot tapping, and line plugging operations the relocation will require. T.D. Williamson had already become the partner of choice for the pipeline owner by safely and successfully completing previous pipeline projects. During the next few minutes, this TDW case history will take you on location to the job site. TDW engineers and master welders will describe the nuances and hidden dangers of in-service welding. As you watch this presentation, keep in mind this 36-inch pipeline is live. That means volatile natural gas is passing through the line uninterrupted, even during welding operations.
2 and 2.5, Bill.
In-service welding requires an extreme degree of safety, training, and experience.
It's classified as in-service when you're actually welding against the carrier pipe. Just about any bead we put on here is going to be affected by the cooling of this pipe and the contents flowing through it. So in this case, with a full encirclement fitting, the end fillets are the in-service welds.
Where usually a lot of problems and concerns are in the circumferentials. That's where we really want to know what our metallurgical makeup of the carrier line is, and we match it appropriately with the metals we use in the forging, our fitting.
They have been trained in basically how to apply the heat input and other special techniques that we use for in-service welding. This is a very different type of welding where production is about fourth in line in importance. It isn't a race, so it has to be done very exact and very, very precise, and that's what these guys have been trained to do.
Only TDW is welding on the live line. They have other welders out here, but they're not touching the live line.
TDW Services also performed the hot tapping and plugging operations. How did TDW Services maintain the flow of natural gas through a 36-inch high-pressure line as the pipeline was being relocated? TDW Senior Project Engineer Charles Herkus explains.
You can see the whole operation over here. If you look over there, you can see where we're putting on the two fittings. Now this other line that curves around here, it's virtually red, is the new line. And back over there, you can see the bypass, a temporary bypass. You can see here where the bypass will connect to the T behind the valve, and that valve will remain closed, and that will push the gas through the temporary 24-inch line, and then that'll allow them to come in here and connect to this valve here that they're installing. And once it's all accomplished, then they'll be able to close off and disconnect the temporary 24-inch line.
And remember, at no time is the product flow interrupted, ever. The consumers at the end of the line never suspect that the source of their natural gas has been relocated somewhere in East Texas. Can you imagine what would happen if all the stoves and ovens in town suddenly flamed out at dinner time?
But that's the beauty of what we do. Nobody knows that we're moving this pipe. Everything continues as is. Well, and that's why they come and contract TDW. You're not going to have any villagers out here with the torches.
Put the experience and engineering expertise of TDW to work on your next pipeline project. It's called Pipeline Performance.
We're providing all of the, not only the fittings themselves, but all of the welding services for inline service, and we will then perform the taps and the stopping. So it'll be a complete package as far as anything on the live lines goes.
Perhaps even more than the smart engineering and capable technicians. When you partner with TDW, you realize these folks still take pride in their work.
Now that's our weld cap right there. We want to try and keep it nice and straight, give it a good appearance so the client walks up and looks at it and does a good job. Looks nice and straight.
That's pipeline performance. Put it to work for your piping system. Call TDW Services or visit the TD Williamson website.